I'd rather die than have dialysis.
This is what my patient told me when I first met her, and I will never forget that conversation. She put me in a tough spot, but I had an ace up my sleeve. Eat this every day, I told her. Catherine here, I'm a doctor of natural medicine, and let me ask you a question, a hard one. Have you ever looked at that machine and thought, not me? Have you ever felt like the medical system has just given up on you? Because that is exactly how this patient felt.
I'd rather die than have dialysis.
And guys, it's never easy to help an end-stage CKD patient, especially when they outright refuse dialysis. This is why today I want to share with you the exact diet and treatment my patient is following to avoid the machine. A bit about her. She had a GFR of 9 when I first met her. She was underweight. Her potassium was sky high. And her doctors were begging her to start dialysis. That was 2 years ago. Today, her GFR is 14. Her blood pressure normalized. She gained weight. Her serum potassium is back to normal as well. And she is still free. Let's see how we did all that. Starting with the most important step any patient who wants to avoid dialysis must take. Number 5, add a ton of fiber to your diet. Fact: fiber is the most powerful kidney-saving nutrient. And the foods you see here, these are the exact foods I recommended to my patient. So if you are going to change just one thing, make sure it's this one. Add more fiber to your diet. A lot of it. The truth is, the fiber you have in your diet right now, it's probably not enough. Science says so. So just add more fiber-rich foods, no? But of course, there is a trap. Potassium. A lot of patients, especially in the advanced stages, are terrified of potassium. Even my patient had a potassium restriction when I first met her, but not anymore. So the question is, what foods can you eat every day to add fiber to your diet without adding extra potassium? Well, the foods in this table, they are low in protein, low in potassium, high in fiber. Anyone with kidney disease can eat them. One of the most interesting is popcorn. Many consider popcorn just another junk food, but in reality, popcorn is an intact whole grain, which means it's a fiber powerhouse. In particular, you are getting a lot of insoluble fiber from popcorn, which is like a cleanup substance for your digestive tract. But remember that you always want to buy regular kernels and air pop them and only use spices as condiments. If you add butter, salt, caramel, or if you buy packaged popcorn or microwave popcorn, all the benefits of this superfood will vanish immediately. Now, in my table, you will also see raspberries, cranberries, blueberries. Most berries actually are low in potassium and super high in fiber. Yeah, there's a reason why everyone always recommends berries for CKD patients. Now, in my table, you can also see a note for cranberries. While cranberries don't taste as good as most other berries, they have a significant health benefit. They protect from urinary tract infections. This is a very common issue in advanced CKD, and yes, this food can help. Now, let's take a look at a food so rich in fiber, it makes berries look like they ain't even trying. The shredded wheat biscuit. Yes, the king of low potassium fiber is a processed morning cereal sold to constipated people that are on a diet. Who could have guessed? But hey, trust me when I say that your kidneys won't mind how processed a food is if it doesn't have added sugar and phosphate, and if it contains as much fiber as this biscuit. Because this bad boy, it is made from one ingredient, whole wheat. That's it. And that's why it's worth considering this food for your diet. And now you might ask, why go to all that trouble? Wouldn't it be better to just take RenaFiber and call it a day? Well, you are onto something because while food is amazing, getting the massive amount of fiber you need to actually lower toxins without spiking your potassium, that is hard math. That is why I created RenaFiber. This isn't just fiber. This is a specialized type of fiber that has been used in clinical trials to get CKD patients off dialysis. Yes, it's that powerful. How is that possible, you ask? RenaFiber acts like a sponge in your gut. It traps the ammonia, it traps the urea, it traps the creatinine, and it carries them out of your body. So your kidneys don't have to. My patient used it, I use it. If you want that extra layer of protection, grab a bottle of RenaFiber at the link in the description. But remember this, supplements are the boost. Food is the foundation. You need both. Now guys, eating the foods in this table is something I recommend to all my patients. Cabbage, cauliflower, zucchini, lettuce, apples, pears, they're the superstars of the renal diet, low in potassium, high in fiber, and incredibly nutrient dense. You are supposed to eat these foods every single day, even if your potassium levels are a concern. Because here's what many people still get wrong about kidney disease. Number 4, high potassium levels are treatable. So as I was saying, when I first met my patient, her serum potassium was too high and she already knew the drill. Stop eating bananas and potatoes, they told her, and start picking out your favorite chair at the clinic. So yeah, the usual. And by the way, there is a reason why we care so much about potassium levels. You see, having too high potassium levels can cause symptoms like weakness and fatigue, nausea, shortness of breath, and even heart palpitations or irregular heartbeat. And those symptoms, they can be very dangerous. CKD patients can lose their lives due to having too high potassium levels. You see, potassium is used by the body to relax the muscles, and your heart is a muscle as well. If it can't contract anymore, well, that's a big problem, right? So make sure you are keeping an eye on your potassium levels. If those are too high, contact your doctor. So, no more bananas for life, you say? Well, it doesn't have to be like that. Truth is, you are not supposed to keep having high potassium levels untreated and to be afraid of foods your whole life. That's not how it works. For most patients, high potassium levels are completely treatable. My stage 5 patient is the perfect example. When I first met her, she had been on a low potassium diet for 2 years, but her levels were still too high. So I decided to something none of her other doctors ever did. Find out why her potassium was high. I started investigating the cause for high potassium levels, and it turns out the solution was there, completely ignored by her doctors. Her serum bicarbonate was too low. This is a condition called metabolic acidosis, or too much acid in your blood, and it can cause a domino effect of health issues, including high serum potassium. And here's the thing, your doctor is supposed to investigate the real cause for high potassium levels before yelling you to stop eating bananas and potatoes. Please let that sink in for a moment. They are supposed to treat high potassium before changing your diet, because if your doctor is not giving you a treatment for high potassium levels and just telling you to stop eating avocados, well, that means that the next step is dialysis. That means they have already given up on you. And now you might ask, so how can we lower our potassium levels safely? Well, that's our number 3 for today. Number 3, monitor and treat metabolic acidosis. So here's a simple trick that could literally drop your potassium levels while protecting your kidneys. Take sodium bicarbonate if you need it. So here's the thing. If your doctor told you to limit potassium-rich foods, always make sure they are monitoring your serum bicarbonate, alright? If your serum bicarbonate is below the number you see in my slide on screen right now, take action. And now you may ask, but Catherine, everyone else says that bananas cause high potassium even if we don't really eat bananas. Why do you say bicarbonate does that? Well guys, here's the thing. The human body can be more complex than what some YouTube videos tell you. Let me explain. Metabolic acidosis or too much acid in blood is an extremely common complication that many CKD patients are facing, including my stage 5 patient. And here's something about the human body they don't usually tell you on YouTube. Your body doesn't particularly like it when your internal fluids are being slowly replaced by acid, alright? But that's what happens when you have uncontrolled metabolic acidosis. So, let me give you an example. Let's say you are not taking sodium bicarbonate. You are not following a plant-based diet. You are not doing anything to control your acid levels. At this point, you are slowly transforming from a human being to a vat of acid. And trust me when I say that this is a lot more common than you think, alright? Now, let's say your serum bicarbonate goes below 19 or 18. Well, that's when your body decides that it doesn't want to have anything to do with that crap and tries to solve the problem by itself. How? It will move some hydrogen ions into the cells for buffering, and that helps with the acid. But now the cells have too much positive charge, so the body needs to take countermeasures. It will move some potassium ions out of the cells and into your bloodstream. And the consequence, your lab results are going to have more red flags than a Soviet military parade. Yeah, that's what was happening to my patient. So I started her on a sodium bicarbonate. I started her on a renal diet and boom, her potassium went back to normal. Incredible! So yeah, that's how you avoid dialysis, by treating the complications of CKD. But guys, this is important. Don't take sodium bicarbonate if you don't need it. Sodium bicarbonate is not a cure-all, alright? It's not a panacea. It only works if you need it. So make sure your doctor is monitoring your serum bicarbonate levels and that you are being prescribed sodium bicarbonate if needed. But do not take for granted that your doctor will do this for you. Not all patients are being treated for this. And there is something else many stage 5 patients are not receiving treatment for right now. Number 2, treat the inflammation. So this was a crucial step in my patient's journey to freedom from dialysis. When I first met my patient, her serum protein levels were low. I needed that lab value to get back to normal if I wanted her to avoid dialysis. So, how did I help her serum protein improve? Well, as any influencer with a YouTube degree in keto diet will tell you, when your protein levels are low, you need to eat more meat, of course. Ribeye steak in particular. Right? Nope, totally wrong. If you have a CKD patient with low serum protein and you give them more protein, their serum protein may increase, but their overall health, it's going to go from bad to worse. Science says that a patient can literally die if you do that. Please, let that sink in for a moment, because this study clearly states that having low serum albumin, which is a marker for protein levels, is strongly linked to an increased risk for death. But it also says that trying to address this directly doesn't reduce the chance of death at all. Yes, eating steak to fix low serum protein is like trying to fix a check engine light by putting a piece of tape over it. The problem didn't go away. You just stop looking at it. So how did I help my patient actually get better? By addressing the real cause for low serum protein, inflammation. Fact, inflammation is the primary reason why your serum protein levels may be low. And while ribeye steak is not going to help at all, a plant-based low-protein diet may actually make a difference. Because here's the thing. Reducing protein intake may increase your serum protein levels because it reduces the inflammation. Yeah, we are not just masking the symptoms here. And there are also supplements that can help. So first of all, I started her on RenaBiotic, my renal probiotic, because here's the thing. Trying to reduce chronic inflammation without addressing gut health first, well, that's just like trying to clean your house while your kids are actively throwing mud at the walls. Not gonna work. A renal probiotic can make a huge difference here, but you need a safe and targeted supplement like my RenaBiotic. Fact, most probiotics on the market will make you feel a lot worse before they start to work. But RenaBiotic is different. It includes specialized strains that feed on renal toxins, reducing their impact on your kidneys. And unlike other probiotics, RenaBiotic is 100% safe for CKD patients because it contains no harmful fillers or risky strains. Try it, it's safe in all the stages. Something else I recommended to my patient to address the inflammation was omega-3s. Omega-3s are very powerful when it comes to getting a patient to overcome chronic inflammation. This is a supplement that I usually recommend in pretty high doses. Curcumin from turmeric is also amazing for reducing inflammation, and I often recommend a 95% curcumin extract to my patients. Combined together, these interventions made a huge difference for my patient, and her serum protein levels started to go up immediately, despite a diet that was a lot lower in protein. And this brings us to the number one for today, which is increase caloric intake while reducing protein intake. Yes, because losing weight on diet I recommend, that's extremely easy. It's true, as any of my patients can tell you. When you learn what foods are really making you gain weight and stop following outdated advice, losing weight is very simple. It's just a matter of calories in, calories out after all. By the way, let me know in the comment section if you want to know more about this, because what I want to show you today is not how to lose weight. My patient, she needed to gain weight, and that's never easy. Getting a patient that's already underweight to gain weight while decreasing protein intake, it can be very challenging. But it's doable. Here's how I did it. First of all, there is a simple trick that can make a difference here. Ginger tea. This is exactly what I recommended my patient, to make a potent ginger tea. All you need is to steep finely sliced fresh ginger in hot water for at least 10 minutes. You just need a couple of grams of ginger for that. Ginger is the most effective remedy against nausea caused by CKD, and it can make a huge difference for some patients. Something else to consider is making frequent meals. Include some small calorie-dense snacks during the day, alright? That can make a big difference. You see, just like people on a weight loss diet may want to skip meals, someone who needs to gain weight, on the other hand, needs to add more meals or snacks. And these meals should ideally contain both healthy fats, such as olive oil, avocado, nuts, seeds, and whole grains, such as quinoa, barley, and brown rice. Bread is also fine, either white or whole wheat. This is a great way to get extra calories and also fiber, vitamins, and essential nutrients. Yep, time to unleash the snack attack. It should make gaining weight as easy as pie. And if you want more kidney saving tips, my video up here is for you, and this is all for today. Thank you for watching. God bless you all. Bye!